First, we're going to go around with a panel and introduce ourselves one by one, and then after that, we're going to turn it over to Yannick. So we'll start with you, Simon.
My name is Simon Downs. I'm a developmental psychologist. I've been living in Japan for the past 23 years. In addition to being a medical student here, I'm also in charge of EMC testing and FDA registration for a new bone-conducted hearing aid.
Okay, welcome, Simon. Sean?
Nice to see you guys. My name is Sean Orr. I'm a neurologist, neurointensivist, stroke doctor, endovascular therapist. I'm also the Vice President and U.S. Medical Director for a medical device company called Orneem. We manufacture and distribute a non-invasive continuous cerebral blood flow monitor. I'm in private practice in Florida, and very excited to be working with John on this concept of medical TV.
Okay, welcome, John.
Thanks.
Julio?
Hi, how are you? My name is Julio Pereira. I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, and I'm from Neurosurgery blog. Thank you.
Welcome, Julio. John?
Yeah, hi. I'm a medical writer. I have a background in neuroscience, and I do a lot of these hangouts with John just to ask some questions and see what's happening in the field.
Okay, welcome, John. Peter? Hello, Peter. You got to unmute yourself. Unmute.
Hello, I'm Peter Galkin. I'm a doctor neurosurgeon from Moscow. My specialization is neurovascular surgery. It's a pathology of brain and also neck vessels.
Yeah, and Peter gave a great talk last week. And Dan from South Africa, special guest.
Hi, John.
Hey, Bernie.
Hello, I'm Bernardo de Andrada from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'm a neurosurgeon, and I work at Getúlio Vargas Hospital. It's a public hospital, and I'm very glad to be here with you, great professionals.
Okay, I'm sorry, folks. We'll get better at the tech of this, but anyways, the main thing is we got Yannick here come to tell us about his fantastic platform. So welcome, Yannick. It's all yours.
Thank you. I hope I'm not on mute here. No, okay, everybody hears me. That's good. So thanks, John, for the invitation. It's great to be here. I'm going to give you, what I was aiming to do is maybe give you a little bit of background and then run through a PowerPoint to show you visual stuff, because the platform is about video collaboration with a lot of innovative features. So I think it's important that you see a lot of that. So as a background, as John was saying, I'm a critical care physician and cardiologist. I do now about 90% of my practice in the ICU. I work in Montreal. We have a multidisciplinary ICU. We're 13 intensivists, and we run all the units. So one week it could be the trauma ICU, the other week the neuro ICU, medical ICU. So it's great because we get to see a lot of different cases. Over the years, I've been doing a lot of teaching in bedside ultrasound education to teach ICU, emergency physicians, anesthesiologists. So the non-radiologists and non-cardiologists, I've been doing this for the last 10 years or so, and I've traveled a lot. In the beginning of 2012, I kind of decided that it would be time to pass to the next level in terms of education, and I started to look around me and try all the different platforms that exist, going from Skype to WebEx to GoToMeeting, or all these kinds of platforms, trying to see how these could be used for remote education, teaching, assessment. And I didn't find what I was looking for in terms of the degree of interaction and trying to go to the next level, doing more, but in a simple way. The most important thing would be to have a secure platform, as we're all working in hospitals, medical clinics, ORs. So we both have to interact with each other, with professionals, but also often with patients. So the idea was to find a way to get a platform going that would be secure enough for healthcare, for the healthcare environment, but also to be able to go from a healthcare secure environment to the home of a patient, for example, for follow-up. So this is what triggers, I would say, the research and development around REACTS, which started 2.5 years ago. And gradually, I worked with the team I had been working for 10 years for multimedia education, all kinds of curriculum, 3D models. So we got the team together and we started working on Reacts, and we officially launched it 3 weeks ago. So in fact, if I put the PowerPoint on, and hopefully you'll see it. Start screen share. So John, you let me know if you see it. I'll put it up in a second.
Yes, Reacts. It's up
so
there.
You see that? Okay.
Yes.
So Reacts, in fact, is an acronym for Remote Education, Augmented Communication, Training, and Supervision. So the idea was really to not just bring simple video conference. You know, telemedicine has been around for 30 years, and there are a lot of modalities out there to do fairly simple video communication. So the idea was not to just bring another player in that field. The idea was to bring something more. So the idea was really to bring interaction, so a very interactive audio-video communication platform, and it's all software and web-based. So there's no hardware component apart from, you know, for sure your computer, for example, but you don't have to buy hardware to use the platform. So as I said, the idea was to have something simple, flexible, intuitive, with advanced features that would optimize and maximize interactivity, and in fact, to bring virtual communication more real, even if it sounds weird to say virtual and real in the same sentence. So we kind of got a term together called hyper-presence, which for us, for the team, we really brought things beyond and above telepresence. To try to bring something more global. So for sure, as I said, the primary thing was to make sure we had something designed to have very high performance and security. So I'm not going to go through the technical details of that. You have that on the website, and I can send you more info if you need it. But that was one of the main key points. Then if I just put a few of the important points, the goal was to have in one platform multiple modalities. So that's why you see the little puzzle logo here, meaning trying to put pieces together. So high quality video conferencing, tools for collaboration, tools to allow skill assessment. So we incorporated tools for checklists, reports, snapshots, being able to do, as we're doing now, simple application or screen sharing, being able to share live all kinds of different medias, performing live file transfers, and we were able to integrate things like augmented reality and real-time image overlay, which I'm going to show you. So the goal was to really be able to bring this in one platform so that you wouldn't have to go to 5 different platforms to do to have interaction with colleagues. So again, software solution, and without getting into the details, it's a low cost, so it's the equivalent of $7 per month per user, so $84 for the year. It's using the consumer's electronics, webcams, computers, and right now the full version is available for Windows platform. We have also the light version for Android, and we're working on the iOS and macOS versions. The light versions, in fact, are for tablets or phones, which, as you will understand, have less capacity than a computer. So they are, I would say, a version which has less features, but that shares the same security and architecture. So what I would like to do is just show you a couple of videos. Depending on your internet connection, some of what you're going to see may be a little bit not that smooth, but at least you'll see the frames, and I hope it will be able to give you a good understanding of what it does. So first point, now it's black, it's normal because I didn't start it, is that in the platform you can have multi-feed streaming, which means, as I'm going to be showing here, that you can connect multiple inputs. So you're going to be able to see, okay, there's audio here, but I don't know if you can hear it, hopefully not. So you can see here that I have 2 cameras connected, a patient monitor, so with little converters in which you can connect patient monitors or webcams, you can have all these streams at the same time. So you can show to one person at a distance multiple cameras. Here I have an ultrasound machine, a webcam, and this in fact was a communication with colleagues from France. Here I'm in the cardiac surgery wards, And I'm going to put this video again, but on its own. So the surgeon, the cardiac surgeon, has the front, the frontal camera, which is connected through an S-video port through a converter that you can buy, at any electronics store that converts S-video to USB. You connect that in your computer. It's automatically detected by Reax, and we've connected 2 webcams in the OR, and then we remotely stream this through Reax. I'm going to show you here. So what you see here is the feed that I receive in my office from the operating room. So I just drag and drop the feeds, which are on the top here. So I drag one webcam, the other webcam, the surgeon's camera. So at a distance, using simple internet, I can see exactly what's happening. I can play with the layout. And here I'm just showing you the multi-feed streaming characteristic, but very easy to do. And I have one more feed, which is mine at the bottom. You see my webcam here. So you could have 3, 4, 5 feeds, and as long as you have adequate, regular bandwidth, you can feed all of this at a distance. So multi-feed streaming is one of the innovative features. Then we were able to integrate a chroma key like you see at cinema using green screen, so that, for example, the surgeon or the person doing teaching or supervising an intervention can just, using a green background and focusing the webcam over it. I'm just going to put it on pause here. There you go. So here I have a webcam that I'm attaching to a little holder with a green screen piece of, a green piece of paper, and you're focusing the camera right on that green screen, and then you tell the software, to just get that green out, and then the background becomes transparent, and you can superimpose your feed as shown here over anything that's playing. So here I even did, you can see me here over a cardiac ultrasound and a schematic view. So I just superimpose my feed over a green screen that was behind me, and I can live remotely send that very interactively to a remote user. So you're going to see here somebody is just placing over a piece of pasta that little face, and with the hands at a distance guides the person to do the thing. Here somebody is showing, you can see here, laparoscopic surgery. So the surgeon in his office can put his hands over the live feed. You can even change the opacity so that the hands become semi-opaque. And the people in the OR sees exactly that. They see the hand coming over the feed. So you can take the scalpel and say, cut there, do this, do that. And I'm going to show you here something, a clip during a neurosurgical procedure. So a remote surgeon is in the OR with the microscope, and the other surgeon is in his office, and in fact kind of used the green screen. It's just a big cloth on the table. We can see the laptop, we can see the camera aimed toward the green screen in his hands. And if you look on the laptop screen, when I turn it on, you can see on the screen that this is the microscope feed from the other surgeon, and the surgeon in his office has his hand right over it, and can tell the person, there's a little bit of adherence, or I don't like the way that vessel is, so go beside it, go along there. And then I'm going to show you another video here. May not be seen super well because I was filming a screen, but you can see here the live feed of the microscope with the hand of the surgeon right superimposed in it. So the surgeon at the distance can see his own camera feed with the hand of his colleague helping out and guiding him with the procedure. So this is very simple to do and can be super efficient in terms of interaction. Here I'm showing you another example where we can see these were surgeons performing a laparoscopic hemicolectomy, and with the help of another surgeon in his office. So green screen, camera, holding just the handle of a scalpel, sees the live feed of the laparoscope machine, and in a second you'll see his hand going over the feed. And these were 2 seniors fellows, so the surgeon is very close by, but he's trying to really enhance their teaching by having them being more autonomous, but being right close to them. So, but the person could be at the other end of the world and helping out with the procedure. So we also wanted to be able to do the same thing using all kinds of objects, including 3D objects. So what you're going to see here is a little video showing how you could put images, videos, 3D objects right on top of live feeds. So here I put a 3D model of an eye with part of the bone over my own eye. I can change the opacity here just to show where it fits with the anatomy. So the two persons on both sides can pick up the object, rotate it around. So you just superimposed. It's really augmented reality where you put these on top of a real-time feed. Here what you see is a colleague holding an ultrasound probe, and here I've thrown in there a 3D digital probe, and I'm putting the probe over his probe. I'm going to change the opacity, and then the person look at his screen. He sees both his live ultrasound feed and my 3D object over his probe, and he can follow what I'm telling him to do. So here I move the probe, and he just follows it so that I can guide at a distance with these virtual 3D objects. I can guide him. Here I have a 3D virtual defibrillator, and I'm showing the person that has the real defibrillator in front of him. I'm showing him, for example, how to hold it. But here, my hands are in the air. In fact, I'm using a green screen that you don't see here over a 3D object that is virtual, and the other person can see his real object. So we can have this very dynamic virtual interaction. Then you can do all kinds of sharing during the session. You can incorporate videos, images. So here you see it has nothing to do with medicine, but an artist is putting the plan of a house, takes the camera feed of the other person so they really feel like they're together, putting some of the images right over the plane, takes his hands, put the hand to show where he would like to place the chair, so the other person can take the image. It's a collaborative canvas, so both people can play with things. So here somebody is showing the live feed of where they would like to put chairs, so they can take these 3D models and both of them can play with it, place them where they want. So they have this, again, very interactive virtual interaction to be able to have a clear collaborative communication, allowing them to do things that you cannot just do with simple plain video conference. Then another very important thing for medical people is to be able, when doing either assessments or supervision, to be able to incorporate reports and checklists. So in the application, you can go in the checklist and reports section, and you can do your own template of checklists and reports, so that while you're doing a procedure, for example, if you have 5 different steps and each of them have very specific points, you can monitor the person that is at the distance and just click on each thing that are done. You can drag and drop the snapshots that you take during the procedure so that you do your live report or filling up a checklist if it's for training purposes. So it's standardized procedure, and right when you're done, you're done with your reports, you're sending it as PDF, or you transfer it through the platform. But it's we need all of this integrated, so you don't have to go through 5 different programs to do it. So here, I click on checklist, I hit create template, and then it's a super easy template where you just add text line. You can add all kinds of different answer types, like done, not done, yes, no. Like here I put input field, so you can put name, hospital chart number. So after that, you're going to be using this to fill it up during the session. So here you see how it looks. So if I would be using this during a thrombolysis, for example, the neurologist pulls out the thrombolysis in stroke remote consultation checklist for the NIHSS criterias, and he can fill up everything as he's doing the exam. And here I didn't put any points, but you can put the points that go with the specific aspects that are looked at. And at the end, the NIHSS score just appears, and you can take snapshots of the scan that you're looking at through secure screen sharing, incorporate in the report, and as you're done, you're just sending your PDF, your email, your report by PDF to the the person you just spoke to or by email, and they just receive it right away. So I'll let it work a little bit here. So both people can work in the report. So I can type something, you type something. Here I just take my snapshot, I incorporate it in the checklist. So it allows us to be able to, either for supervision of a procedure or supervision of a real clinical encounter, it gives you the tool to be able to do all of this, then send it by email. They receive a high resolution PDF with everything included that you've done during your report. Then, and this is the last one, what we've incorporated for convenience was for the person to be able to access the platform, not only from the computer, but also from simpler devices like Android, iOS, and also from simply the web browser. So, so here you'll see, again, as I said, the full version to do everything I just showed you is for now on Windows 7 or 8. We're developing the Mac version after Christmas. So now here is the light version on an Android tab. Android is out, and iOS, Mac OS, and web browser will come probably soon after Christmas. So here you just find your contact, you establish the connection, and you can still show images and videos and even chroma key to the distant person. But obviously you cannot connect a USB cam in your Android device, so you cannot incorporate ultrasound feeds and things like this, but you can receive multi-feed images, videos from the person you're communicating with. So just to finish, you will see if you go on the website, the company, which is a company I started in 2012 called Innovative Imaging Technologies, so IIT. I have a team of 12 people, a multidisciplinary team, all kinds of different specialists, and our objective is really to try to really reinvent the way we interact. How can we bring a more dynamic collaboration between people and enable hyper-presence? So really always thank my team, a bunch of brains together. They work hard and they produce phenomenal results. We have these kinds of wall painting that you can draw on everywhere in the office, so it's really cool to see them go. And to conclude, I would say that the idea behind Reacts was really to maximize an integrated way of doing safe communication for both simple sessions, but also for teaching supervision, provide care at a distance, and facilitate communication. And on the education part, it really, I think, offers us a way to bring new teaching methods using multimedia elements, augmented reality, and checklists. So hopefully this will bring interactive education to a new level. So for those interested, the website where you can see and experience and download the application is iitreacts.com. And hopefully you were able to see the videos and everything with a good quality. So on that, I'm going to close the screen sharing and go back to the session.
Very good, Yannick. That was the most effective use of videos during a Hangout because, as you know, this is kind of a new platform also. But great. Just before we start opening to questions, I'd like to introduce Dan Ochieng from South Africa. It was kind of garbled, the introduction, due to technical difficulties. Sorry about that, Dan. And also we're joined by Hee-Young Kim from Korea. He's an ENT physician, and he's a Hangout lover. So, okay, so the floor is open to anybody that has a question for Yannick.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi,
John.
Yannick.
Yeah, quick question. Yeah, I like the overlay features. You had a 3D CAD model of the eye. I'm wondering, is it 3D parametric that you can change the size, change it around, have mates that can slide, and also do you have things like that for surgical tools or other new kinds of parts?
Yes, so in fact what we wanted to do for the 3D objects was for anybody that wants to put their, any 3D object in it to be able to do it. So many of these objects that you've seen, some of them we created them. So one of our graphic artists, in one of the I'm not a pro at these things, but there are all kinds of software that can be used for 3D design. So once you're done with the object, you just have to export it in a language called OBJ, which in fact is similar to a PNG or bitmap or JPEG. So we have on the website about a page and a half, just a couple of steps that graphic artists have to follow to take their own 3D objects and have it React compatible. So you either have someone that has, wants to model a scalpel or a specific medical device, they can have it converted, I would say, to the React format. And once into the platform, you can turn it around, play with it, maximize it, change the opacity, or you just go on one of the website there are a bunch of websites that sell royalty-free 3D objects that are very good, and you just adapt it to follow the same criteria as to export it to React, and then you can do what you want with it. So it's very easy to incorporate it and then use it in any of the live React session.
Very good. Okay.
Okay.
More questions, please?
Yes.
Okay, Julio, go ahead.
Okay. First, congratulations. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I can see, do you know how to use this in different ways? Like in the Congress, in different room, can you see the presentation? In primary care, do you know you can help a ER doctor? And my question is, are you using the React in your service? What is the big problem, in your opinion?
What's the big what? Can you repeat that?
Can you
What's
repeat
the
that?
big problem for you use this program, in your opinion?
You mean the biggest problem?
Was that the question, Julio?
Yes.
But in fact, the biggest potential problem would have been, and that's what we focused on a lot at the beginning, was security, because here in the province of Quebec, like most provinces in Canada, there are very strict criterias. Can you still see me, guys?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There are very strict security criterias for everything is usually run in the, I would say, the intranet of the healthcare system of the province. So to be able to have communication between, for example, my nurses at the hospital and me at home, we had to follow very strict criterias. Once this hurdle was done, and that the way we were doing it was, based along was fine, was following guidelines, and was accepted. People don't see any problem. We don't have problems with confidentiality or things like this, because we tell the patients, we're going to be remotely interacting with this physician or this physician, and the equipment is simple, good quality laptop, so we didn't get technical problem. The potential problem was the security one, which we took care from the beginning with the system we were able to put together. Other than that, people see it more as solutions, because the way we communicate now, at least in our healthcare system, is through video conference, with these bigger, more expensive system, and none of the, I would say, like FaceTime, Skype, none of these things are authorized for the healthcare environment. So people have a limited way of communicating with patients or with physicians that are not on site, and even with physicians between hospitals. So I must say that it brings more solutions than problems. So there are not many problems other than, as usual, having people get organized to get this new way of communicating, but it goes pretty well in terms of adoption.
Okay, I have a quick question, Yannick. Is any thought going into using Google Glass as a camera?
Yeah, in fact, we have the Google Glass. We've been working with them, and we've integrated them to the platform. We haven't released it yet because, for now, the version of Google Glass, if you're trying to push them a little bit, we want to be able to bring back feedback in the glass so that you could see some of the AR stuff that you've seen. So the person could have the glass, and then we feed back a video, we feedback. But there are some hardware problem where when you're trying to push it a little bit, it's heating, and just having the feed through the platform, just a single feed, is not a big problem. And this, we should release that probably after Christmas, so the person could be wearing the glass and the other person sees what's happening, but you won't have this high level of interactivity just because the hardware for now cannot in terms of performance cannot tolerate it. But the simple feed, yes, you'll just have to wear them, go to a specific parameter, and activate them in the platform.
Yeah, it's just used as a camera, essentially, just a camera.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay. More questions from the panel?
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Hey, great work that you're doing, and especially in surgical disciplines with the training. My main question is, with regard to simulation training that's really picking up in a lot of medical student training and surgical training models, a little step back would be to be able to integrate your software and your program with sort of maybe models that can provide haptic feedback so that people can be able to try simulate on models rather than the actual patient. And for now, your system is perfect and works well, but maybe an area of expansion in the near future would be try to integrate it into simulation training models and have medical students and residents also try to train and be able to be mentored the way you're doing.
Yeah, that's interesting. In fact, one of the updates coming in early 2015 will be the recording annotation playback. So we've already used it. Again, Friday we had a simulation for a patient coming with herniation, and the resident had to diagnose this and do a brain death exam. So what we're doing is just placing 3 webcams. We had something also connected, so we had the monitor feed, and the people are in another room through Wi-Fi, and they're so now what we're doing is we're recording it through screen capture. But after Christmas, what you'll have is the way to put annotations live, record the procedure, so then you can play it back and do the debriefing, and you'll have your timeline at the bottom where you see all the annotations, plus another timeline for a reviewer. So you could be doing a simulation in your OR or in your sim center with all the cams. You do the annotation and you send it to me, even if we're offline. We're not, we're asynchronous, and then I'll be able to check it out, put my comments, send it back to you. So the idea is to really not push only the live interaction, but optimize the training through this asynchronous kind of communication.
Okay, one quick question, Yannick. You mentioned you were working with neurosurgeons right now. What are you doing with them?
Yes, so we've been involved with the neurosurgeon for a while, and we just finalized all the terms and everything for all the objectives for a very nice research or pilot project that we're doing with them. It's in 2 dimensions. One of them is educational, the other one is clinical assistance. So there will be, I think it's 3 senior fellows and a few residents with attendings. And one part of the project is focused on assessing, let's say the senior fellow is doing a surgery, and the attending is very close by. He's like right in the next room. But the idea is to see that, if they're on their own, if they're doing their thing, interacting without having the person breathing over their shoulder, do they have better autonomy? Do they feel they're learning better? They're more confident? So they're looking at I would say kind of the educational training purpose of this remote assistance. It doesn't take less time for the surgeon. He's not gone for a coffee. He's really assisting live every single thing that's happening, and if he needs to, he just comes back and put his hand where he needs to have his expertise. But there's so this educational aspect, and the other aspect is during the calls. If the residents are on call, they need to do a procedure that they can do. They're trained to do it, but they need some assistance or supervision, and instead of just being a phone call, and they will be able to have this hyper presence with them. So this is the other aspect which is looked at, and it will be done. We're starting like now, and it will end in March. And the neurosurgeons were very enthusiastic about integrating this into their practice. So it's going to be a very interesting and dynamic project.
Well, you know, Yannick, maybe we can get those neurosurgeons in the coming weeks to tell the other neurosurgeons his experiences.
Yeah, in fact, before you're totally right. Before bringing them on, they wanted to be able to get going and get some stuff done, and
Sure.
then at some point in January we can get them in and give you some of the impressions and how it goes in the project once we've done a couple of cases.
Good, good. Okay, more questions? Peter, Dan,
Excuse me?
or Bernardo? Yeah, Bernardo.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
So I want to congratulations you for this. I think it's a really amazing tool because now I can see the fusion of different internet technologies. It's a kind of fusion, and it's very useful to neurosurgery. We can interact with neuronavigation and can see videos from the microscopes, from the endoscope surgeries. It's look like really amazing. And I think when it comes to Brazil, it's really helped to save lives that would be never saved before, because you have a very huge country that some specialists cannot has at more remote place on our country. So congratulations, and I'm very appreciating that tool.
Thank you, Bernardo.
And Bernardo, by the way, in my team, one of the guy is coming from Argentina, and the other one is coming from Brazil.
Oh, really?
So we have the platform in both Spanish and Portuguese.
Very nice.
And yeah, so it's French, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And we've done a major updates recently, so we're just finishing the translation of the update part. And hopefully before Christmas, when you download it, you just have to go to language, choose Portuguese, and that's even better, because I think it's easier for the people that are maybe not always perfectly comfortable in English to do their procedures. So just to let you know, it will be, I think, even a plus for you guys.
Great.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I'm very anxious to see this technology working in my countries soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
More questions? Peter, do you understand the platform?
Yes, John. Thanks. Thanks, Yannick. It was nice presentation. Actually, here in Russia, we are not so very computerized or country, and it's actually such programs, such equipment, and such technologies are only developed in our country. But as I work in a leading center in Russia, where we have the modern microscopes and modern endoscopes for neurosurgery, also we have almost also we have neuronavigation. I think that it could be a good platform for to make some presentations, to make some education programs for our colleagues in other parts of our country where neurosurgeons do not have such equipment like we do. So I think it's a very good platform, and actually maybe it will be. I don't. As for me, I think it's not so very how would say, it's very too many information, or how to say, too many. It's a huge. It's very huge. I think it's maybe it will be easier to understand and to work on programs on light programs that could be downloaded to the Android phones, communicators, or to iPhones. You see, so I think it's a good idea. I will visit your website, and probably I can take something from your site, and maybe we could work in future with you.
Yeah, because any of you guys, when you go to the website, you can download a free trial, and once you're in the platform, if you go to contacts, You just invite, like you find me, you type my name, you invite me, and I get an invitation from any of you, and then we can just chat and connect and do a live session with the platform. The only thing is, for you guys that are just Mac users, the full version is for Windows, and we're coding the Mac version starting after Christmas, so it will come.
Well, you know, Yannick, Peter's pretty internet smart. I think you could easily lead him through it. And the impression I get, it's fairly simple because there's no hardware. All you need is a good internet connection, and that's it. And you download the program, and you're ready to go.
And I've done communication with a colleague in Ireland, and she had an internet connection of about 1.2 megabyte per second, and we were able to do a very nice interaction where I had a live ultrasound feed, a camera, she had her camera. So as long as you have between 500 kilobyte and 1 megabyte per second, you'll be able to do something good. But if you have more connection, you need a higher speed connection to have be able to put all kinds of things. That's normal because it requires more bandwidth if you put more stuff.
You know, Sean represents a product.
Combine videos on a tablet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Go ahead.
A tablet or a phone, you just have one USB connection. Is it possible to combine videos there? I mean, you talked about the S video to USB converters. If you want to, you have multiple streams together. How would you do that on a tablet?
Yeah, on a tablet, it depends if it's a computer tablet. For example, the Surface from Microsoft has 2 cameras, but when you put Reacts on a Surface, you see the 2 cameras at the same time. Plus, you have a USB port. So if you connect, let's say, an ultrasound machine through the USB ports, you'll have 3 streams. If you take an Android, the Android and the iOS devices can only display one of the 2 cameras. So you have to use the little thing to flip the camera. This is hardware-based. We cannot show the 2 feeds at the same time. You have to choose between the 2. So what we're going to be working on in the future, we've done it already, it works, but we haven't integrated it, will be to be able to integrate IP cameras. So then this will take care, it will take care of the USB port. So for now, it has to be a USB camera or video input. There could be anything that you convert and put as a USB. But in the near future, you'll be able to integrate IP feeds as your own cameras, which will take care of the multi-feed on devices that don't have a USB port.
Okay.
Thanks for the question. I think, John, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I should know how to use it. I should know how to use the platform. But you mentioned something about how to show other people remotely how to use medical devices. Can you comment on that a little bit?
Yeah. In fact, if you want to, let's say you're using, let's say the microscope, the neurosurgical microscope that you've seen. It's very simple because behind the device there's an S video, and I think there's also an HDMI output. So we use this and we just connect it into a very simple S-video converter that converts the signal to USB, and it's recognized right away as a video input in Reacts. So when you are in the platform, you just get the feed, put it on the stage, what we call the canvas, and as soon as you share it, the other person sees the live feed from that device. Some of the ultrasound machine, endoscope, the laparoscope have high quality signal like DVI or HDMI. So then there's another type of converter that you can buy that converts the other video signal. So HDMI, DVI, VGA into USB. So as long as you have that little self-power, in fact it's USB powered little device, you just connect any of these other devices in your computer and you can just remotely beam them. And by the way, right now, the way we've done the platform, we really wanted to put the emphasis on this interactive communication with all these assets and 3D objects and chroma key. So for now, the communication is one-to-one, which means that if I would call you, John, I could have multiple feeds. You could have multiple feeds. We play with all of those, but it's only you and me.
Right.
After Christmas, the other update we're going to be releasing is multi-party. So we are not sure now how many we'll be able to put at a time so that they're optimal. But there will be two ways. Probably you could have people just being connected and watching the communication between two people. Very low use of streaming. And then you could have, like we're doing now, people with their webcams and sound and everything, which uses a bit more of the streaming process. So, but right now it's kind of a one-to-one platform, coming out with the multi-party in a couple of months, so that you're going to be able to do both one-to-one and multi-party like we're doing now, using also all the other modalities we talked about.
Very good. Okay. Sean, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'll just chime in here. I think it's a very appealing platform in many ways, Yannick, and I congratulate you for putting it together, and all the hard work is obvious. I've had experience working with networks in the United States for remote stroke care, and there are probably about 3 or 4 different networks that are very respectable. And when I first started going down that road around 2009, we were looking at $100,000 robots that you could steer remotely in ERs, and as I predicted, the price points come way down. You offer a very appealing price point. So I guess I'm curious, have you received any feedback? Obviously, you have a remote stroke example in your portfolio that you're showing here. Have you received feedback about how it's working, and are you actually building your own network as well?
Yeah, in fact, as I've said at the beginning, we've just commercially released the application 3 weeks ago. So before that, we were only working with collaborators. I mean, I have collaborators all over the world, but in specific environments. And so we haven't done, I would say, for now, real encounters with the stroke. We've done simulations with neurologists and things like this to look at the quality when they're looking at the scan, the use of the checklist, the multi-stream, how they like. We usually put 2 cameras so they can see the physical exam being done at a distance from 2 angles, which can be very useful. So we know that the comments were amazing, and but now we're really moving out and going to see department services. Departments from different services, including neurology, to implement. In Quebec, there is now a big, it hasn't been implemented widely, the remote thrombolysis or remote stroke assessment. So as we speak, it's in development. So we're bringing to the table our solution to be able to have it implemented. And as you mentioned, one of the key points is costs. Because in our case, they just need to have people connected with their computers that most of them already have. And the other way they operate is with the video conference platforms, which are a couple of tens of thousands of dollars, and they don't have the versatility of being able to just be on the move, connect your 4G little hotspot thing and still do the connection. Plus we bring the checklist, the report that you can all do at a time. So we have a lot of traction, but as it's a very newly I would say released product, we haven't had the real life feedback for the real cases as they haven't been used yet. So more than likely in the next couple of weeks I'll have some feedback for you.
I would be very excited to get that feedback. I think that you've got a disruptive product here and can put a lot of companies out of business, or at least back on their heels. How would you respond to, I would imagine somebody would criticize saying, in terms of bandwidth or, continuous connectivity. I mean, obviously you get shut out sometimes from the network. Do you think that you're any less likely to have that experience than any of the other kind of products?
One thing that we've implemented is, and it's pretty interesting in the platform. Let's say you and I are in a session, and at some point your bandwidth is throttling down like crazy because something happens. Our server is waiting for you to reconnect for almost a minute, just so that if something happens, as soon as you get back up, the session continues instead of shutting down everything. Yeah. And if ever something has crashed on the internet provider and there's no more internet, the session stops, but it doesn't close. It will tell you, would you like to, let's say you had already started your report, you have screenshots on your canvas and everything. You can just say, you know, keep me in. You just save everything, finish your report, and then close the platform. So we've put mechanisms in place so that if ever the bandwidth throttles down, it doesn't stop. It will tell you waiting for other party to rejoin session. And if ever the other party never rejoins because of performance issue or any bug, somebody disconnected a cable, then your canvas remains intact and you can finish what you were doing. Instead of just having everything shut down and you lose what you've started in your report and everything. So that's why we really try to optimize scenarios where this could happen. And I think we have, I would say, a more reliable way compared to other platforms of trying to keep people connected because of these mechanisms.
Beautiful. And from a medical legal perspective, you have your encounters backed up so that if there's ever a subpoena, it can be produced for a court document or...
Yes, so this is one of the very important aspects. And many of the platforms that people want to use, sometimes one of the reasons why they were not approved by the security officers in the different hospitals was that there was no, I would say, I don't know how to say it in English, but a logbook or a log of what's happening. So in the platform, on top of all the security, encryption, and all these things that we have implemented, there is a way that, it's not a way that either I or you could go check in the platform, but it's something we have in our secure database that if somebody from your hospital says, I would like to see what happened, you know, between these two IP addresses, who got in touch with who, when did it happen, was there really a communication, how long did it last? We have that data that can be provided to officials, but it's not a backend that you just log in and you can go in it. So we wanted to be able to have that for medical legal reasons if this information would be required. So yes, it's part of the coding of the platform.
Very strong. Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One thing that Bernardo mentioned in the chat room, Yannick, was the fact that he sees a big use for this in emergencies. Have you found that so far?
Yes, so I would like to show you something. In fact, you know, in Montreal, for those of you that are that like racing Formula 1, we have the Grand Prix du Canada every year in Montreal. Maybe some of you came. It's a very nice attraction. So this year, in June 2014, REACTS was used during Grand Prix. So the setup was the following. So in the hospital, that is the mobile hospital, on site, we had, there's like a resuscitation area, and we had two webcams, that one of them was right on top of the bed, so that if a patient is on it, we see everything from on top. Another one was like more, I would say, overview. We had the monitor directly connected in REACTS. So we had a couple of crashes, and thank God, at the end of the day, everybody was fine, but some of them were fairly major. So the minute that the trauma person was arriving in the bay, we were connected with the emergency physicians from my hospital, where they received the patient by helicopter transport. So they can be there and see everything going on. And I had a tablet, in fact, it's a computer tablet, one of these little Panasonic thing, and I was another feed, so I was like the moving guy. I was moving with the camera, not the camera, but the tablet connected to REACTS, so the surgeons could see the two webcams, the patient monitor with the vitals, plus my, I would say, mobile feed. And I even followed in the helicopter on my cellular network with the tablet. So the surgeons, the emergency physicians could follow from the moment the person is coming in until we're, down in the heliport. And then they only have about a minute to go back to the emergency room to get the patient coming in. So it's a 6-minute ride between where the field, the race track is, and the hospital. And if ever in the air the guy needs to get trached or something happen, they see it. So they know that, okay, when the guy comes in. So the comments were very good, because imagine, we all know that when you receive somebody that just got through some crash, there's always a confusion when you get there or people come in. You have to get the sign out of what happened. plus you need to take care of the patient as the situation unravels. So if you can avoid that, because you know everything that's been going on until a minute, when the patient comes in, it's like, okay, hi everybody, what's up? I've seen everything you've done. Is there an open fracture? How much fluid did you give? So what I'd like to show you, if you give me 2 seconds, I'm just gonna show you a very brief clip. We did a nice clip of that, and I'll show you this. Just gonna pull it here. It's this one here. Okay, so what you're gonna see is, I just want to make sure it's the right one I have here. Yeah, okay, good. So let me share that with you here. I'm going to be using Open with QuickTime Player. So you'll see you don't have the sound with it, but the visual will be fairly clear. View. Okay, so let me share that now. Here, share, medical, start screen share. So you let me know if you see this. It's starting now. You see that?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll see it's kind of a brief summary of what happened, and the guy that crashed that you're going to see had a GoPro camera on his car. So, and he allowed us to use the feed from it. So you'll see it's fairly spectacular. So here you can see, you know, everybody working around the mobile hospital, people getting ready and everything. This is called Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. That's the racetrack in Montreal. So here showing you some of the nice cars and everything. And then in a second, you're going to see part of this is me with my little Panasonic mobile feed. And then you'll see, look at this. This is the feed from the GoPro of the camera.
Ooh.
Oh.
The guy got the back tire right on his hat, on his helmet, lost consciousness, had a little bit of seizure. And here we have the whole footage, but here we just put a quick summary. So the paramedics are coming, and then they get him out of the car. So here you can see just the people getting ready to get the patient coming in. So it's a mobile hospital, so everything is temporary. It's nothing that stays there. So here just showing you the monitor here, which is ready to be connected to the patient. So here this is Jean-Marc Chauny. He's the leader of the hospital, and obviously you don't hear the sound, but what he's saying is that this year we introduced that new technology to optimize even more the acuity of care, to be even more performant. So here you see me, I'm just setting up stuff, again, webcams, tablets, and here the patient is coming in. So he's coming out of the ambulance, being brought in, put on the stretcher, and I'm on the phone with the emergency physician in the hospital telling them, okay, get connected, the patient is there, and the webcams are placed in order to be able to show. So here I'm establishing the connection with the laptop. Here you can see the mobile tablet that I had, and this was, so here are the emergency physicians here in the other hospital that, you know, live they can see the multi-feed. And once we're done strapping up the patient, the team is getting ready. I was following them with my tablet, transmitting live everything going on. Here we can see the physicians just giving a sign out to the others, telling them the age of the patient, what happened. There we go. And then we can see this here, just a little bit of the screen when we do the screen share. Transmitting the ultrasound. Instead of connecting the ultrasound machine, it's easier if you just connect if you just film the screen. So here you go. Then we're putting the patient in the helicopter, and this is here what you can see. You'll see part of what was coming from the device itself. There you go. So here the helicopter is lifting off, and you'll see a little bit of the streaming from within the helicopter taken with Reacts. So here we're just leaving for the air. There you go. What you see here is taken through a cellular connection, stream from Reacts directly to the hospital. So this is showing you, I would say, some use. Here, did I stop my screen share or not?
Yes, yes, you did.
Okay, good. Okay, so just to show you again, part of that emergency response, you're right, it could have, I think, a lot of positive benefits.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Any questions?
No, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, it seems very useful in neurosurgical emergencies, like kind of all spine traumas and head traumas. You can check the Glasgow scale, you can check the pupils, so you can have sense about how the gravity of these patients, of this trauma. And it's very useful.
Yes.
Quick comment. Yannick, that's great application. I think especially the emphasis on saving time when try to hand over between emergency teams and just being able to see what happens before the patient comes in. I think that was definitely a great use of the software and great presentation.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay. Well, going from emergency to elective care, what procedure, neurosurgical procedure, Dan, this is kind of addressed to you. What kind of procedures would you like to learn from the neurosurgeons, say, in other countries? Is there any new type of innovative neurosurgical procedure that you kind of want to learn right now, Dan?
So for us, the main thing I think would be application in neuronavigation, use of neuronavigation in approaching tumors and pre-surgical planning. I think it would be very important, for example, if we had preoperative scans that we could share and then feed it on the system, and then based on that, be able to simulate the approach that someone would take during a tumor. And just as Mr. Yannick demonstrated earlier, that during the surgery itself, it would also be very useful to have someone guide you to tell you, that even though my approach would be this, then I'll do my craniotomy in this part, I would open. And I think the fact that he also demonstrated the use of the green background and being able to put your hands into the picture and be able to actually demonstrate would definitely be something that would be applicable. So in this part of the world, we are very excited about this new technology. I think we have the bandwidth, and we definitely would be looking forward to partner in order to demonstrate how this surgical or this information can be greatly applied to such circumstances.
Very good.
Great.
Okay. Any more questions? Well, very good. I guess we'll wrap it up, and hopefully this won't be the end of our relationship, Yannick, and hopefully you'll come on now and then.
Yeah, that's great.
When new things come out, or even in different areas where you see your platform going. So you're welcome anytime to come back and continue. And we'll all exchange email addresses if you want to address questions to other members of the panel. Or if you want to get hold of everybody. And everybody, I'll send you the link to this. And of course, we'll clean it up a little bit from the beginning. And thank you all for coming, and especially thank you, Yannick, for taking the time to give that excellent presentation.
Thanks to everybody, and thanks, John, for the invitation. Very excited to be part of the group, guys, and I'll let you know of the updates, what's coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much.